education is not just a luxury but a necessity. The advent of the third millennium presents unprecedented opportunities to reshape the way we learn, teach, and grow. Good morning, distinguished guests, esteemed faculty, and everyone gathered here. I am M.C.MATHAI standing before you to host today's inaugural session. Welcome to the 2024 Annual AICS Conference. We are thrilled to have you here as we embark on a journey of knowledge, innovation, and collaboration. It is my absolute honor to stand before you today as we dive into this year's inspiring theme, Elevate Humanity, Rethinking Education to Empower Humanity for the Third Millennium. This theme challenges us to break free from traditional constraints and reimagine an educational landscape that not only prepares us for the future, but shapes it. This conference is not just an event. It is a movement to redefine education, to ignite minds, and to inspire hearts. We have gathered some of the brightest minds in academia and industry to engage in rich dialogues and share innovative practices that will elevate humanity to new heights. Let us all come together to rethink, innovate, and empower the next generation for a brighter, more inclusive tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. Let us make this conference a remarkable and fruitful one. Before we continue with our insightful sessions, let us take a moment to pause and center ourselves. As we all know, blessed is the one who has learned to admire but not to envy, to follow but not to imitate, to praise but not to flatter, and to lead but not to manipulate. Those blessings are sweetest when won with prayer. So let us invoke God's blessing through a prayer song. I request everyone to rise for the invocation to be led by our school choir.
Work of our hands.
Thank you. With our hearts and minds now aligned, let's proceed with our program. As we officially commence this event, I would like to invite our esteemed guests to the dais. I humbly request our beloved principal to escort the dignitaries to the dais. Let us all rise and show our appreciation for their presence here today. Please be seated. Small cheers and great welcome makes an event a successful one. Our principal is a remarkable individual whose dedication and leadership have been instrumental in shaping our institution. With a deep commitment to educational excellence, she has been a guiding force behind today's event. I request our respected principal, Mrs. Abhilasha, to echo the words of welcome to the gathering. Over to you, ma'am.
Respected President, esteemed guests, distinguished educators and delegates, a very good morning to you all. I am honored to welcome you to this educational conference, a flagship project of SMS aimed at convening thinkers and educators to enrich the field of education through intellectual discourse. Today, we gather on a momentous occasion, National Education Day. This milestone coincides with two significant anniversaries, AICS 20th year and SMS 30th year. On this special day, educators converge to introspect on education's fundamental purpose, uplifting human dignity, bridging social disparities, and fostering equity and equality. Yet, we must ask ourselves, are we achieving this vision? Through this conference, let us explore strategies to achieve this. I extend my deepest gratitude to AICS for providing SMS with this opportunity. I cordially welcome Reverend Father M.C.MATHAI, our respected correspondent and President of OSC Educational Society, who is going to inaugurate our program. His extensive experience as a college lecturer and passion for teaching, blended with spirituality, will set the tone for our conference. Welcome to you, sir. Next, I warmly welcome Mr. Manamohan Nayak, KG, Principal of STM English Medium School, Ujire, and President of AICS, who will preside over this inaugural ceremony. His leadership and managerial expertise have significantly contributed to AICS excellence. A hearty welcome to you, sir. We are also graced by the presence of Professor Matthew C. Nainan, our Charter President, Director, LRIS, who has established a benchmark for national and international educational conferences. I welcome you, sir. I extend a pleasant welcome to Mrs. Merida D. Almeida, a pioneering educator and former principal of SMS English Medium School. Her clarity of vision, unwavering commitment, and innovative approach propelled SMS to new heights. As a former president of AICS, she is the ideal person to provide an introductory note to this conference. I welcome you, madam. I acknowledge the unwavering support of our management in conducting this conference without any external sponsorship. I extend a cordial welcome to Mr. Alan Rohanvaz, our General Secretary, and Mr. Luis Fernandez, our School Secretary. We appreciate the tireless efforts of AICS team, including Dr. Geeta Shashidhar, Secretary. Welcome, ma'am. Reverend Father Melvin Anil Lobo, our Treasurer. Welcome to you, sir. He has not come? Yes. Mr. Vincent Di Costa and Father Francis Arun D'Souza, Sports Secretaries of Udupi and DK. Welcome you, sirs. I extend a warm welcome to all speakers, panelists, presenters, press representatives, and delegates. And I welcome our keynote speaker, Mr. Giridhar, and valedictory address speaker, Mr. K.P. Rao. And I also welcome members of AICS EC, OSC management members, our PTA members, and all our well-wishers. I thank my dedicated colleagues whose relentless work has made this conference possible. A formal welcome to you all, my dear colleagues. Let's come together, share knowledge, and inspire one another to shape the future of education. Thank you, and I wish you a productive and enriching conference.
Thank you, Madam, for your heartwarming welcome address. On behalf of all, I extend a warm and cordial welcome to you too. Flowers symbolize respect, admiration, and goodwill, and it is our honor to present them as a gesture of our appreciation and reverence. May I request Mr. Manmohan Nayak, the President of AICS, to do the floral welcome to our President of OSC Educational Society, Reverend Father M.C.MATHAI. Thank you, sir. May I now request our School Secretary, Mr. Luis Fernandez, to present a bouquet and a welcome card to all the other dignitaries as a token of reverence. Thank you, sir. May I now request Dr. Geeta Shashidhar, the Secretary of AICS, to present a floral welcome to our School Secretary, Mr. Luis Fernandez. Thank you, ma'am. Our former principal, Mrs. Merida Almeida, is a cherished leader who has been instrumental in shaping the vision and foundation of our institution. She served this institution with unwavering dedication from 20th August 1998 to 30th April 2016. Her contributions to our institution have been nothing short of extraordinary, and have left an indelible mark on our campus. Let us hear from her as she shares the introductory note that is sure to inspire and motivate us all. Over to you, ma'am.
All the distinguished guests on the dais and the delegates of this conference, good morning to you all. I am greatly honored to be amongst you today, as it was my cherished dream to hold an educational conference at SMS. Being a bidecennial year of AICS, SMS has the privilege to hold this conference at its premises. I thank Almighty God, the correspondent, managing committee members, principal, staff, and PTA members who made this conference possible today. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is a true goal of education, says Martin Luther King Jr. Now let me give a brief history of St. Mary's Syrian English Medium School. This school started in the year 1993. The starting of this school was a commemoration of the centenary of SMS Cathedral. The school came to its existence by the then correspondent, late Very Reverend Dr. N.J. Thomas, who had envisioned an English medium school in this area and took active support of the parishioners who worked abroad. Under the banner Orthodox Syrian Christian Educational Society, which has the credit of educating the children of this area past 120 years. Not only that, OSC Society runs many educational institutions, and proudly it can say that it has helped to transform more than 1 lakh plus lives for the past 120 years, since it has classes from KG to PG, and presently more than 4,000 students are benefiting out of it. The motto of starting of this school is to equip the students from poor and lower strata of the society in English medium. The school takes the pride that it had completed 3 decades successfully and stands out as a competent school in this locality, educating nearly 2,500 students. I had the privilege to be associated with AICS also. So I would like to give a brief history of AICS. The historic journey of AICS started on 14th August 2004, representing 18 schools and 31 members, including principals and the members of management. And they all met at Sharda Residential School, Udupi. The word AICS, Association of ICSE and CBSE School, was coined on that day itself, and the group present there selected Professor Matthew C. Nayanan to head the association as president, as it was his idea of having symbiotic relationship with member schools. Mr. U.E. Acharya as secretary, Mrs. Pratibha Nemiraj as joint secretary, and Professor Sam Daniel as the treasurer. In the subsequent meetings, bylaws and logo of the association was decided. The memorandum of the association was decided at the meeting on 10th January 2005. AICS was primarily set up with an idea of sharing and pooling member schools' knowledge and experience for the benefit of all schools, and also to give ample scope for the students of member schools to participate in both scholastic and co-scholastic activities, which has been appreciated by students, parents, and teachers. Professor Matthew C. Nayanan, being the torchbearer, took the initiative and organized many workshops, conferences, both national and international, for principals and teachers. And this inspired other schools to follow the footsteps, and they too started organizing programs for teachers, principals, and students. And to add on to that, at every meeting, one principal has to give a session on the best practices of that school. This year, the AICS has completed 20 glorious years of its existence, which started with just 18 schools. Now it has totally 84 schools to its credit. Focusing on today's topic, that is rethinking education to empower humanity, which is a very pertinent one. We are witnessing profound shifts in terms of thinking. When thinking has changed, our values have degraded. Even though we are aware of the root causes, we, the educators, fail to rectify the degradation of values. Educational goals should not have short-term approach in making quick money. It should be converted into a philosophy for our long-term welfare, in which we can educate the children to care and love with a high level of integrity, to be understanding of others' needs, respect for seniors and elders. The main objective of today's conference is to empower the educators to shape the future where every child discovers the opportunity in non-conventional industries rather than getting into the highest paid private sector jobs. The knowledge gained by our children should be able to transform the society and to develop the spirit of service among the young, with the motto to wipe every tear from every eye. Thank you for patient hearing.
Thank you, Madam, for your insightful introductory note. The illumination of the candle represents the dispelling of darkness and conferring of knowledge and wisdom. As we commence our 2024 AICS conference, we shall now witness the ceremonial lighting of the candles, symbolizing our collective pursuit of enlightenment and insight. This poignant moment will be accompanied by our students' rendition of the candle song. I invite our correspondent, Reverend Father M.C.MATHAI, to graciously inaugurate the conference by lighting the candle. I request all the other dignitaries on the stage to join hands in unity to inaugurate the conference. Meanwhile, I also request all the AICS executive members and school management committee members off stage to proceed to float the diyas to officially inaugurate the conference.
Some bright
guide us towards a fruitful and enlightening journey. Thank you all. We are honored to have the presence of Reverend Father M.C.MATHAI, the President of OSC Educational Society. He is a visionary leader who has guided our institution to new heights and has always emphasized the importance of holistic education. Now I request you, sir, to deliver the inaugural address.
Respected President of this inaugural function, Sri Manmohan Naik, distinguished chief guests on the stage, office bearers of AICS and SMS institutions, delegates from different schools, and my dear brothers and sisters. We are all in a state-level educational conference, mainly focusing on teachers. Conference. Francis Bacon, a noted English essay writer, says, "Reading maketh a full man, writing an exact man, and conference a ready man." So conference is very essential, especially for teachers. Teaching is the profession which creates all other professions. In other words, teaching is the mother of all other professions. Sidney Hook, an American philosopher, says, "Teacher is the heart of educational institution." So, teachers play a pivotal role in imparting education, molding the personality of the students, and building up society, that to holistic and healthy society. Dear teachers, I hope all of you are teachers teaching in different institutions. We go to a tap and open the tap. When we open the tap, we get water. But to get water, the tank which is connected to that tap should have sufficient water. Unless and until there is water in the tank, we can't get water through the tap. You are all like tap, and you impart education to children. And first of all, you must be equipped well with good education, sufficient knowledge to impart quality education. Because education only molds the personality of the students. Many a time we think about IQ, intelligence quotient. That is definitely given by God. We have to cherish it and nourish it. We have to polish it. IQ is very important. IQ differs from person to person. But more than that IQ, we must think about EQ also. Because our principal madam, Abhilasha madam, might have, and the president might have rightly chosen the topic for the conference, Elevate Humanity, that has different shades of meaning. So that EQ is also very important. That emotion quotient. Emotional quotient along with that IQ, EQ, emotional quotient is also very important. Children must know how to behave with their parents, how to behave with their teachers, how to behave with their friends, and to how to behave with others. That emotional approach should be taught to them. Along with that, RQ is also very important. Relationship quotient. Nowadays, many of the children are losing the relationship with their parents or relatives because they are addicted to mobile phones and some other media. So that relationship quotient also should be taught to them. That should be taught by the teachers. Because whatever you do, they imitate immediately. And what you do will be observed by them. Because action speaks louder than words. So when you interact with other teachers, your colleagues, your principal, elders, they observe that. so that you can teach through your action. So teachers play a very, very important role in the society, especially in the educational institution. And we teach many things in the classroom. Albert Einstein, a great scientist and a thinker, says that education is what remains after one has forgotten what he has learned in the school. What remains? We forget so many things after the examination. Teachers have taught us a lot of things. We may absorb 50% of that, or my students absorb. And out of 50%, 25% they may remember in the examination. After the examination, they may forget so many things, and 10% may remain. That is the real education. That is what Einstein says. So, emotional quotient, relationship quotient, and holistic behavior is very, very important. Humanity, that doesn't mean just empowerment of human being or upliftment of human being financially and all that. More than that, a moral behavior should be developed in them. Sympathy towards others, empathy towards the poor people, and kindness towards us that are being lost nowadays. And when you teach a poem or novel or drama or historic incidents, usually we call these subjects are humanities. Elevate humanity. We call these subjects humanity, philosophy, all psychology, all these are called humanity. Lastly, one incident I would like to quote. I had a professor in Karnataka University when I was studying for MA. His name is Chandrasekhar Patil. His pen name is Champa. Many of you might have heard about him. He was a rebel poet, Bandaya Sahiti, what we call. He has written a lot of dramas. He has written a lot of poems. One of his poems, a short poem titled Alienation. Alienation. If you see that poem or listen to that poem, you can't say that is a poem. Poem goes like this. First line, like a man trying to sneeze and not getting it. This is the poem. First line, like a man. Second line, trying to sneeze. Third line, and last line, not getting it. When I saw this poem, is it a poem? What a professor is he? He has written such a poem. But when we keep on reading it again and again, we get a picture. We get a picture. Like a man trying to sneeze and not getting it. Like a man trying to sneeze and not getting it. Once he sneezes, oh, he'll be relieved. He's trying to sneeze, but not getting it. He can't sneeze. After sneezing, he'll be get relieved. Think that this poem teaches us many things. Ezra Pound started in 20th century imagist movement in English literature, especially in poetry. He presents an image that a man is trying to sneeze, but he's not getting it. That means you can connect this to different fields of our profession. Being a principal, you might desire to do so many things, so many improvements, but there may be a lot of obstacles, hurdles. Being a teacher, you want to do so many reforms, but there may be a lot of hurdles, obstacles. Being a politician, good politician, you might want to do so many things. There may be a lot of obstacles. Being a social worker, you might do so many things. Lot of hurdles and obstacles are there. That is what shows this poem. Then I thought of that. What a beautiful poem. Instead of lengthy poem, this poem is enough. Limited words with lot of meaning. Dear teachers, the future of the students is in your hands. You are the persons to mold the society, build up the society, build up their well-being as well as the human nature in them, so that your responsibility is immense. It is very holy. Teaching profession especially is a holy profession, is a noble profession. So understand that. This conference, through the keynote address and the panel discussions and interaction, you might derive so many things: how to teach, what to teach, how should I be as a teacher. So let this conference be a blessed one. Through these words, and wishing all the best, I formally inaugurate this educational conference today. God bless you all abundantly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your profound insights on the transformative power of education and this conference. We are immensely pleased and honored to have with us today a visionary leader who is none other than Mr. Manmohan Nayak KG, the President of AICS and Principal of STM English Medium School, Ujre. He is a renowned educationist and a strong advocate for quality education. He has been a beacon of leadership, guiding the association with wisdom, dedication, and unwavering support. May I request you, sir, to deliver the presidential address.
Most respected Principal, Melida Madam, the whole school principal, the management group of this institution, as well as AICS members, principals of different schools, teachers, and keynote speakers, media persons. Very good morning to you all. Really a good morning, because I can see that very calm and quiet, very nice, pleasant atmosphere here. The first is required is nice atmosphere. So as being a president of AICS, I wish to thank the host school and the management for providing us this venue. Because just now Father has said that seeing is learning. So what we can see, that is also learning. This is also an education. Thank you very much for arranging such a beautiful atmosphere, a good campus. Thank you. Because we believe that teacher is always a teacher. Teacher has to learn and he has to transfer the knowledge to next generation. Therefore, in society there is a word is there, once you become a teacher, always a teacher. Because we can't say I'm a retired teacher. Because the society will say that, teacher house, that is the teacher's road, that is teacher. They never say that Mr. Manmohan's road, Manmohan's house, nothing else. Therefore, all the teachers, we have got greater role and society is also expecting the same. Why? How? Because our teachers have made us a role. They gave their whole life to us to become a good teacher. So the AICS is striving hard to give qualitative education. How? By empowering all the teaching faculties. The way of uplifting the teachers. Last year, I can say that one full year, our Matthews and Ainan used to conduct the workshop for us at one team at Udupi, one team at Mangalore. One full year he used to up and down. Every month nearly 10 to 12 sessions he used to conduct it. It shows that his, what I can say that, zeal to give something knowledge to others. Really, this is a model for us. This great person has formed this association, hence we have more responsibility to carry on this journey. In this regard, what I want to say that is, this title itself is telling that elevate humanity. Humanity with whom? First among ourselves, next to others. Because I said that seeing is learning. What the students will say, first the students will look at the teacher. If the teacher is a mold, what I can say, perfect one, so that is the same thing they'll do it. Because I can feel that when I am teaching mathematics, I always compare my teacher, how she used to come or how he used to come to class, and I used to replicate. But one thing is there, my dear colleagues. But I am comparing with my teacher, but in front of me, students are there, they can't think of my teacher. They'll see from today. They think of tomorrow, they grow for next. Therefore, we have got greater role. How? We should learn our student first. We should learn our student first. We should think of what is their expectations. Next, we should find out that what we have to do. But what is required with us? Humanity. With these values, we can mold the students accordingly. Therefore, what I can feel that is, our role is something great. Because we have got nearly 88 schools of ICSE and CBSE. We have got students from different culture, different languages, different ideology. But school teachers should not change ideology frequently. Teacher should have a fixed ideology how I should lead and how our students should be in future. In this regard, a teacher should be first, I can say that, should be a knowledgeful one. Always study, always learn, always update. This is a mantra of a teacher. Therefore, what I can say that the world today is changing rapidly with technology like AI and automation, transforming industries. At the same time, global issues like climate change and inequality are becoming more urgent. In response to education must evolve, it is no longer just about learning facts or preparing for jobs. We are not, because nowadays what happened, you can see that when the 10th standard exams are over, the PUC exams are over, we can the roadside full of students' photos. Because they are the top scorers. But do you think all are successful in their life? No, the successful one is one who has got more values, one who can do better, one who think better. Therefore, what I can say that is, we are not preparing our students for jobs. We are preparing our students for the nation, for the society and better society. So, what I can say that is, we must teach our students to think critically, solve problems, and adapt to a fast-changing world. Beyond academic skills, we need to focus on emotional intelligence, helping students understand and manage emotions, both their own and others. This builds empathy and strong teamwork, which are essential for success in any field. I said that teamwork. Nowadays you can find that every child feels that he's an individual, he's not ready to share with others. But in future I can say that without teamwork we can't do anything else. They should learn how to share and care with others. Students today are part of global community. We must nurture global citizenship by encouraging them to respect cultural diversity and work for a more sustainable, just world. At the same time, education must instill strong values like honesty, integrity, and compassion, guiding the students to make ethical decisions throughout their lives. At AICS, we believe that in developing well-rounded individuals, not just academically skilled professionals, but also compassionate, ethical citizens. By rethinking education, we can truly empower humanity and prepare students to shape a brighter future for everyone. In this regard, we have different sessions are being arranged in this workshop. We have eminent personality like today we are going to have a panel discussion, and afternoon we have got presentation of best practices of different schools, different institutions, and we are going to get what I can say, what is happening in the education field in future. So everyone participate actively, take the good things among ourselves, share it with our school, in our society, around the parents, and let us make a good human being for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the strategic direction for our conference. This address will set the tone and a guideline for our discussions and endeavors throughout this conference. Expressing gratitude is a powerful tool for fostering positive changes in our lives and the lives of others. As we draw to the close of today's inaugural session, I would like to invite our dedicated Sports Secretary of AICS, Mr. Vincent De Costa, to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of the Managing Committee. Over to you, sir.
Distinguished dignitaries on the dais, all the respected invitees who are before us on this auspicious occasion today, elevate humanity. Education has to shift from great and substantial, subordinate and superior blessings to the humanity. On behalf of the entire team of AICS, that is the great association, and members of the prestigious ICSE and CBSE schools family, I stand before you to express heartfelt gratitude to special invited dignitaries for being the part of this wonderful inaugural function and making this grand success. First and foremost, our sincere thanks go to Very Reverend Father M.C.MATHAI, President of OSC Education Society, who has enlightened us with great insightful words which made us full of knowledge. Reverend Father, thank you very much. We are all thankful to the President of AICS, Shri Manmohan Nayak, the President of AICS for this year, who has also given a wonderful message to all of us. Thank you very much, sir. Our beloved Charter President and Director of Little Rock Indian School, a great guide and friend of all of us, Professor Matthew C. Nayanan. His presence always makes us present better. Sir, thank you very much for being the strength today. Introductory keynote address, and that key has opened the minds of all of us from where we came, how we go, where we go. Thank you very much, Ms. Merida D. Almeida, for your wonderful keynote address. We really have come to know what AICS has done, what AICS will do, what wonders it can work. Thank you very much. Of course, from past several months, only one person slept half. And all the dreams of the institution of SMS, taking all the people together, worked day in and day out. I am talking about Miss Abhilasha. Wonderful personality, a great thinker, a great writer, and always thinks so much better for the humanity. And she has done a wonderful job during these days. Madam, Thank you very much on behalf of all of us. One, if it stands with one, what can it become? Those ones standing one and one on 11, it becomes surely something else which brings so much meaning to life. Yes, today it has become true on 11, because when one stands with one and the number increases with 1, number increases, and I tell you, that is what today's Elevate Humanity. We 11, we go to heaven very soon because we create heaven around us. And today we have gathered here because of SMS strong team, management team, which has come here and supported us in all the matters. On behalf of all the AICS members, we are thankful to you, both great dignitaries, Mr. Luis Fernandez and Mr. Alan. Thank you very much, and your team for your wonderful support. We have with us our own members. Mrs. Geeta Shashidhar, eminent, efficient secretary, and Father Melvin, our treasurer, Mr. Arun, Father Arun, our sports secretary of DK district. They're all our good friends who are working day in and day out for the success of our all events of AICS. So thank you very much for being with us on this auspicious occasion in the arena. Thank you, fathers, and thank you, madam. Of course, so many respected invitees I said, and I am not wrong. So many principals, so many educators, so many thinkers, so many people who are going to join us in one or the other panels. You're all here. We are educators. We have decorated with our own identity today. And of course, we are very cool like cucumber today in this arena, which was just, I think, yesterday it was inaugurated, this all AC system, because our people, dignitaries who come here to be very cool and calm. And of course, we are very cool and calm to listen the whole day. Even what time you finish, it is not the botheration. We have come with purpose. We stayed together till the evening, until the valedictory, everything ends, and we speak to each other. We receive the best and take the best to our schools when we go. Thank you, all the dignitaries and respected invitees. God bless us all. Bless us all. Let this Elevate Humanity make from here whatever lighted lamps, let it flourish. Let the light go everywhere in this society. Let us make our undivided districts one of the best model districts in education. We have been, we will be, we will still take to the heart. God bless us all. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. As a token of gratitude, I request our General Secretary, Mr. Alan Rohan Vaz, to present a memento to the President of OSC Educational Society, Reverend Father M.C.MATHAI, and also to our former principal, Mrs. Merida D. Almeida. Thank you, sir. We are honored to present a very special memento that carries profound significance and embodies the spirit of our event. The memento includes two remarkable articles. The first one is a beautifully handcrafted basket made by school-going children from the ST community from Makkalamane, Koteshwara. This basket is not just a piece of art, but a testament to the rich cultural heritage and craftsmanship of these young artisans. The second one is the preamble of our Constitution, which serves as a reminder of the principles and values that form the foundation of our nation. Together, these items are a token of our gratitude and symbol of the meaningful journey we share. May I now request our beloved principal to escort the esteemed dignitaries to their respective seats of the dais. Yakshagana is a traditional theatre form that originated in the coastal regions of Karnataka. It combines dance, music, dialogue, and vibrant costumes to narrate mythological stories and folklore. We are about to witness a Yakshagana dance performance by our talented teachers, prepared to be captivated by a mesmerizing display of artistry and
Gopiya kanda tato kita tato dinagade goda Kolalanu dota banda Kolalanu dota banda Kolalanu dota banda Gopiya kanda Gopiya kanda Kolalanu dota banda ಮುಂದೆ ಗೋಗಳಾಗಿಂದು ಮುಂದೆ ಗೋಗಳಾಗಿಂದು ಹಿಂದೆ ಗೋಪಾಲರ ದಂಡು ಹಿಂದೆ ಗೋಪಾಲರ ದಂಡು ತೋಂ ದಿನದೆ ಕೃತ್ಕ ತೋಂ ದಿಗು ತಕ ತೈಯ ತೈಯ ದಿನ ತೋಂ ದಿಗು ತಾದೆ ಆವತು ದೇವನ ಕಂದ ದೇವಕಿ ಬದಿರೊಳು ಬಂದ ಕೊಳ್ಳಲಾನು ದೂತ ಬಂದ ಗೋಪಿಯ ಕಂದ ಕೊಳಲನು ದೂತ ಬಂದ ಸುಂದರ ಮುರಳೀಧರ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಚಂದದಿ ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ ಊದುತ ಬಂದ ಸುಂದರ ಮುರಳೀಧರ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಚಂದದಿ ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ ಊದುತ ಬಂದ ಇಂದಿರ ರಮಣ ಹರಿಗೋವಿಂದ ಮಂದಹಾಸದೀತ ಬಂದ ಸುಂದರ ಮುರಳೀಧರ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಚಂದದಿ ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ ನೂದುತ ಬಂದ ಇಂದಿರ ರಮಣ ಹರಿಗೋವಿಂದ ಮಂದಹಾಸದೀತ ಬಂದ ಆ ವಸುದೆಯೊಳ್ ವಸತಿಯನು ಕಾಳಿಂಗ ಅರಸುತ ಬಂದ ಬಸವಳಿದನು ಕಾಳಿಂಗ ನಾಗ ಬಿಸುಸುಯುತನಿಂದ ತನನ ನನ್ನ ತುಸು ದೂರದೊಳಂದು ಕಂಡನು ವಸನದ ಮಡುವನು ತುಸು ದೂರದೊಳಂದು ಕಂಡನು ವಸನದ ಮಡುವನು ವಿಷಮ ಕರುತಲಿಂದು ಹಿಂಡುವೆ ಹಸುಗಳ ಹಸುವನ್ನು ವಿಷಮ ಕರುತಲಿಂದು ಹಿಂಡುವೆ ಹಸುಗಳ ಹಸುವನ್ನು ನಂದ ಗೋಕುಲದೊಳಾನಂದದಿಂ ಗೋವುಗಳು ನಂದ ಗೋಕುಲದೊಳಾನಂದದಿಂ ಗೋವುಗಳು ತಿಂದು ಹಸಿಮೇವುಗಳ ಚಂದದಿಂ ತಾವಿರಲು ಹಸಿದಿದ್ದ ಹಸುಗಳು ತೃಷೆಗಾಗಿ ನೀರ ಸೇವಿಸಲು ಹಸಿದಿದ್ದ ಹಸುಗಳು ತೃಷೆಗಾಗಿ ನೀರ ಸೇವಿಸಲಾಗ ವಿಷವೇರಿ ಅದು ತೊರೆದವೋ ಅಕಟ ದುಮುಕಿ ಮಡುವ ನೀಗನ ಭರತಿ ಶೋಧಿಸುವೆ ಅಮುಕಿ ಹಿಡಿದು ಉರಗನ ಮದವ ಮರ್ದಿಸುವೆ ತೈತ ದಿನಾದೆ ತೋಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಗ ತೋಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಗ ತೋಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಗ ತಾ ತೋಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಗ ತೋಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಗ ತೋಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಗ ತಾ ತೋಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಗ ತಾ ತೋಂ ತಗಿಡ ತಗ ತಾ ಕುಣಿದಾಡಿದ ರಂಗ ಕುಣಿದಾಡಿದ ರಂಗ ಕುಣಿದಾಡಿದ ಪಣಿಯನ್ನು ಮೆಟ್ಟಿ ಬಾಲವನೆತ್ತಿ ಕುಣಿದಾಡಿದ ರಂಗ ಕುಣಿದಾಡಿದ ರಂಗ ಕುಣಿದಾಡಿದ ತಕದಿಮಿ ತಕಜಣ್ಣು ತಕದಿಮಿ ತಕಜಣ್ಣು ತಕದಿಮಿ ತಕಜಣ್ಣು ತದ್ದಿತ್ತ ತಕದಿಮಿ ತಕಜಣ್ಣು ತಕದಿಮಿ ತಕಜಣ್ಣು ತಕದಿಮಿ ತಕಜಣ್ಣು ತದ್ದಿತ್ತ ತಕದಿಮಿ ತಕಜಣ್ಣು ತದ್ದಿತ್ತ ತಕದಿಮಿ ತಕಜಣ್ಣು ತದ್ದಿತ್ತ ಕರುಣದಿ ಕಾಯೋ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಶರಣಾದೆನು ನಾ ಮುರಳಿ ಲೋಲ ಕರುಣದಿ ಕಾಯೋ ಗೋಪಾಲ ಪರೋಪಕಾರವೇ ಪುಣ್ಯವು ಪಾಪವು ಪರಪೀಡನೆ ಎಂದು ತಿಳಿದು ಪರಿಸರವ ಕಲುಷಿತಗೊಳಿಸದೆ ಬಾಳಲು ಪರಿಸರವ ಕಲುಷಿತಗೊಳಿಸದೆ ಬಾಳಲು ದೊರಕುವುದೈ ಶುಭವು ನಿಜವು ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ದೇವೋ ಭವ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ದೇವೋ ಭವ ಕೊಳಲನು ತೋತ
teachers and pupils for entertaining us with a captivating welcome dance. The credit for this wonderful dance goes to the trainer who took time and put efforts in training our teachers and students. A heartfelt thanks to everyone who joined us this morning. We are excited to continue this journey together, exploring new ideas, forging connections, and fostering innovations. Here's a gentle reminder. As we move through this conference, your feedback is valuable to us. In your welcome kit, you will find a feedback form. We kindly ask you to take a few moments during the break to fill out this form with your thoughts and suggestions. At the end of the conference, please submit your filled feedback form at the registration counters. Your insights will help us to improve and ensure future events are even more enriching and enjoyable. Thank you for your cooperation. Now, it is my pleasure to hand over the proceedings to our next MC, Mr. Wilson Oliveira, who will guide you through the upcoming session. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to everyone. I am Wilson Oliveira, your host for today's session. It's my pleasure to invite Dr. Giridhar, COO of AZIM Premji University, to proceed to the dais. Thank you, sir, for your gracious presence. As we gather here today, let us remember that even the smallest act of kindness can ripple out and make a profound difference in someone's life. With this spirit of compassion and connection in mind, let me introduce today's speaker to this gathering. As Chief Operating Officer of AZIM Premji University, Mr. Giridhar S. brings over 18 years of experience from the AZIM Premji Foundation and 20 years in business management. He played a pivotal role as the university's first registrar and COO, guiding the institution with visionary leadership. Dedicated to transforming education, Mr. Giridhar has shaped the foundation and university with deep commitment, authored a book, Ordinary People, Extraordinary Teacher, The Heroes of Real India, co-authored acclaimed cricket books, Mid-Wicket Tales from Trumper to Tendulkar, From Mumbai to Durban, India's Greatest Tests. Mr. Giridhar's expertise and passion for education and social change make him an inspiring keynote speaker. On behalf of everyone present here, I would like to extend a warm welcome to you, sir. May I request our host principal, Mrs. Abhilasha S., to present a bouquet and a welcome card to our honorable guest speaker, Mr. Giridhar, as a token of our reverence. Thank you, ma'am. Now, may I invite Dr. Giridhar to share his insights and illuminate our minds. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to begin by trying to speak a little Kannada. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರುವ ಎಲ್ಲ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ ಮತ್ತು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಮಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಮಾತನಾಡಲು ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮಗೂ ಮತ್ತು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸರ್ಸ್ಗೂ ನನ್ನ ಹೃದಯಪೂರ್ವಕ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಓಕೆ, actually I added one more sentence in my prepared inaugural. ಇದು ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಗೌರವ ಮತ್ತು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯ ವಿಷಯ. I spent the first 24 years of my career in business management. And then I made what I think was a momentous, divine change when I moved to the AZIM PREMJI Foundation. In other words, joining the social sector. And much of our work in those initial days was to go into rural government schools of Karnataka. And therefore, I had a lot of opportunities and necessity both to try and talk to them in a language that they understood. Part of the reason I quickly learned a certain amount of survival level of Kannada was during those initial years. So, ನನಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Okay. But that ಸಮಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿನುಗುವ ನಕ್ಷತ್ರಗಳು and all that was my friend's help when he said, do add that. He said, ಸಮಾರಂಭದ ಮಿನುಗುವ ನಕ್ಷತ್ರಗಳು, because he said, you're going to talk to teachers. You always been writing about teachers, do mention it. But otherwise, in terms of spoken Kannada, this is what I can do, but I'm going to now switch to English with your permission. I very often like to speak extempore. I have a few thoughts in my mind and then I speak. I wish I could be like Father Mathai, who was just fluent and easy and telling us so many things without even referring to anything. I must admit that I'm cut of a different and lesser cloth. So I will from time to time refer to notes, and I hope you don't mind that. So when I was asked to speak, people generally say, will you talk about your experiences with teachers and what you feel, etc. This time there was a bit of a googly from the organizers, and when Abhilasha ma'am told me that I must come and speak, I said yes without asking what the topic was. And then she said, you got to speak about the challenges of AI and technology for teachers. And I realized that I had actually agreed without thought. But then I thought, so what? Many of us will be in the same boat. There's a difference between me and all the people in this audience. It is a very humbling difference. And I think we must get that clear in the beginning. Each one of you is a teacher. Each one of you has dedicated his or her life to teaching. And to watch you all teach in a classroom has been my privilege. So I am merely an observer. If I may use the equivalent, I am just Sanjaya, but you are all the Arjunas. So I am just observing and talking, and you people are actually there implementing and executing. So when I talk to you from here, please remember that there is a world of difference between me and you people who are the heroes of real India. I think Mr. Manmohan Nayak, Reverend Father Mathai have all set the stage by beautifully describing how important and precious is the profession of teaching, how critical is the process of teaching and learning, how much it is crucial to nation, society, community, family when teachers do this invaluable job. Much of my observations and experience has been with government schools. I think nearly all of you are from private schools, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, excuse me. But all my experience has been in terms of observing government schools, with a very good reason. Because the foundation established to contribute to a better society thought that the best way it could go about it was to go to the most disadvantaged districts and areas, and there try and work with the teachers who are working with the most disadvantaged children. So when I began 24 years ago, if I entered a classroom in, let us say, a school in rural Yadgiri or Gulbarga, Kalaburgi, If I ask the children sitting there, how many of you have had something to eat in the morning, 50% of the class will raise their hand, which means 50% come on empty stomach. If I ask them, what do your parents do? 50% of the children will put their hand up and say they are daily coolie or daily labor. None of those families have even one bit or scrap of reading material at their home. Many of those parents will migrate for months in search of livelihood, taking their children away from the school. It is in such circumstances that our heroic teachers there perform their duties, not bothered about the constraints that they have, not bothered that nobody even appreciates what they do, not bothered that in a year full of midday meal scheme, if on one particular day there is an incidence of food poisoning, that will come in the next day's newspaper, but not the food given on the remaining 239 days. One of the teachers told me during my travels, ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು SMS ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಸಾಕು ಸರ್ from my supervisor. After 20 years, if I get one SMS saying well done, it is enough for me. Despite that, these teachers do everything they can because they feel that these 5 or 8 years that I have with children from the age of 6 to 11 or 6 to 14, this is the only time we have to provide them something by which they can carry on and move and do something in life. Today, if I ask some of you, what do you want your students to be? I know that you want them to be good people, you want them to be very compassionate people with empathy and sympathy for others and try to do good. But along with that, you would like to say, I would like to see them do something. In the schools that I used to visit and still visit, the teacher will say, I'll be very happy if my student goes on to class 6. I'll be very happy if my student from class 8 goes on to complete SSLC. I'll be very happy if my student goes to college. And if I ask the students, what do you want to be? Those students will proudly say, oh, I wish I can join the army as a Havaldar. I wish I can be an electrician. I wish I can be so and so. And quite a few will say, I wish I can be a teacher. So the circumstances are so different that I'm reminded of also my days in business management when I used to, as a freshly minted MBA, I joined a company as their marketing services manager, and I had to drive 26 kilometers from one part of Madras or Chennai, Madras in those days. I had to drive down to North Madras to my factory, and on either side on the divider of the main road, you will see small children lying there because they are the children of construction workers. And the buses will pass 6 inches from them with dust and everything. And it's very difficult. So I come from a very different background, but I'm sure that we are all bound by one thing, which is the care and necessity to make us a better society. I must also admit that my own child went to a private school. Of course, she went to a neighborhood private school when she could have gone to fancier schools away. But I was very clear that if my child is near my home, it is very interesting. I think I was very smart also because I lived in Delhi in those days, and in winter it is very severe, and school buses will come at 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. to take them to Delhi Public School or Falana School or Dimkana School. And the children are shivering and they are not even able to have a cup of milk properly, but at 7 they are dressed and kept there. My child was in heaven because at 8:15 I have to say, Aparna, chalo yaar, school chalte hain. And at 8:15 I will take her by the hand to the school. At 8:30 the school opens and she's a happy child. I think one of the best things I did is by putting my child in a nearby neighborhood school. I think to a large extent, I think personality also got shaped by that. I think the fact that she's a happy child or was a happy child, I think all has to do with the fact that nobody had to wake her up at 6 and say, school chalo. I have gone completely away from the topic because I'm like that smart student who was asked to write a story on a tree, but he knew only the story on a cow. So he began by saying there's a tree and then wrote the story on the cow. Below the tree there is a cow. and then he wrote for the next minutes on the cow. So I'm like that. I started saying, I've been asked to speak on the challenge of technology, AI on teachers, but I went into telling you something. But I had a purpose to tell you that, in the sense that it is such a complex, rich, diverse country with such challenges that sometimes, like a gated apartment, we can cocoon ourselves in our private schools and forget the reality of what is happening in the other 65% of India's schools. Sometimes when we think of our own constraints, each of you has challenges. But when you think of the kind of challenges those 65% of teachers face, you will then realize, Arey, namma challenges la nothing compared to those challenges. If you can develop that part of it, it provides two things. It provides perspective, it provides courage. It provides insight, it provides sensitivity. So when you look at it, I thought maybe if I come and share some of this, it's not the same as showing you a good film. And I'm an average storyteller. But I hope that somewhere I made the connection that the government school teacher in Yadgir facing challenges and the private school teacher facing challenges in Udupi, they are connected by a very strong and basic thread, and that is called love and responsibility for children. Every one of them, every teacher here and every teacher in Gulbarga, Yadgir, Uttarakhand, Nagaland, wherever, is bound by one solemn oath: every child can learn, every child must have equal opportunity to learn. Am I providing every child the best possible opportunity to learn? Is the last child in my room getting the same kind of attention as the first child in my room? In other words, we talked of equity and equality today morning in some context. To me, the equity and equality we talk of, you can see in the classroom, because children come with different interests, different triggers, different abilities, etc. But as a teacher, is Subhash sitting on the 17th row getting the same attention as Kiran sitting on the first row? That's all I need to know. Teachers, if they say, look, I provide the same attention, to me that defines a genuine commitment to equity and equality. And what is the other thing? I think was it Mr. Nayak who mentioned we are lifelong learners. Every teacher at the end of the day reflects, how did I teach today? What worked? What did not work? Did that teaching learning material that I thought will work, did it work really or did it not work? Why was Subhash not at all attentive today? Why was Kiran troubled today? What is happening in their life? Should I find out something tomorrow? In other words, the reflective practitioner every day is saying, am I teaching better than I taught yesterday? What should I do to teach better tomorrow than I taught today? That is the beauty of this particular profession, according to me. In this profession, the beauty is every day is a new day. For me, in my 24 years of business management, there was a certain pattern. I was working with a set of group of technical officers or salesperson and so on. So I knew what's happening. There were customers. There's a certain pattern. When I go and teach class 3 and class 4 and class 5 maths and science, every day the classroom is different, the mood is different, the interests are different, the cohorts are different. This year's class 3 children, so different from the next year's children who will be class 3 students. I tried that material with that class, it worked, it doesn't work with this class. Every day is like a kaleidoscope. So according to me, it is like a kaleidoscope. The teacher shakes it every morning and looks at it and sees, today's class is very different from yesterday's class. This year's class is very different from last year's class. That is why there is a certain magic in this profession. The other magic of this profession is that children are God. Somewhere or somehow, even if I took teaching as my second or third preferred option of profession, because it is a reality that more than 50% of teachers perhaps come into this profession, especially in government school teachers, I can tell you a lot of them, that they come not necessarily because it is their first option. They are thinking, oh, I'll do a UPSC, I'll do RAC, I will do this, I'll do bank officer, bank clerk, so many things are there. The magic of this profession is that as soon as you step in as a teacher and you're still thinking, I must bring my coaching books to prepare for UPSC while I'm teaching this group of children, I'll get some time and I'll read and prepare because the exam is coming in 3 months. The children weave their magic. There is nobody, I underline nobody, there is nobody who can remain untouched by children. Without your knowing, within 1 week, they have caught your heart, they have tugged your heart, they have hooked you. There are many teachers I have spoken to in the course of my research for my book, Ordinary People, Extraordinary Teachers. There are many teachers who told me, this was not my first choice, sir, but pata nahi kya hua hai. In 1 week, मेरा और चिल्ड्रन का एक संबंध बन गया. आई एम टेलिंग यू इन हिंदी बिकॉज दिस वर टीचर्स फॉर एग्जाम्पल फ्रॉम उत्तराखंड एंड राजस्थान वर टॉकिंग टू मी. On that day, I put all my UPSC preparation books away. I knew I had a responsibility to these children. And I decided that if I'm a teacher, I'll try to be the best teacher I can, because my ethical, moral responsibility, my entire requirement is that I should not do dhoka with them. Dhoka means I should not betray them. Forget doing great, start from there. And from there they begin and do this. This is the unique hold of children. No teacher can not ever have this bond, which is why you will see that very often in primary schools especially, teachers act, enact, sing, dance without any conscience. What is it called? Without being aware and without being embarrassed, okay? Without being conscious of it. Sometimes I used to wonder that if you ask me to suddenly sing a song, I'll find it very difficult to sing a song. But you tell a teacher to sing a song, whether she is in sur or not in sur, she is very happy to sing, because that is the beauty of her daily interaction with children. அவங்க ரெண்டு பேரும் ஒன்று ஆயிட்டாங்க. I use Tamil now. Okay. So I've said so much about all these interactions. Now let us put it in the context of technology, AI coming, challenges to teachers, etc. Do you think any technology, any AI, any GPT, any falana, any dimkana, my favorite terms, will it make any difference to this relationship between child and teacher? Will it make any difference to the classroom processes that you are adopting? Will it make any difference to this? Not at all. In fact, AI can make inroads into various kinds of domains. AI will find it extremely difficult, because this is something called, you talked of humanity, this is super humanity. The day when AI can assist this, we will see. Till then, please remember your masters. When I studied at BITS Pilani 47-48, I went to Pilani in 1973 from school, so 73 to 78. Those were the days when we used to get question papers and it would say, you are not allowed to use a slide rule. How many of you have heard the word slide rule? Put your hand up. 1, 2. Thank you. Slide rule was the thing by which you could do fast calculations. We were not allowed to use that. Then came calculators. And then you have so many other things. So, those were the days when my teachers would come with notes like this. Hard-working, absolutely back-breaking labor the teachers would do, bringing these kind of notes and go to the board, chalk and green board or chalk and black board, and do everything, wipe it clean for the next teacher. And after some time, immediately after, they came with acetate papers and an OHP projector. Life slightly simpler, teaching process still the same, slightly more efficient because I'm saving time of writing and I can use it for discussion. So here is a positive use of technology one could see, where the OHP became useful to them. Again, OHP is not something that can be copied to anybody, because a photocopier and all was not heard of at that time. It used to come on that sticky kind of paper to Xerox. It's called Xerox because the Xerox company was the first to bring out a photocopier. So like Dalda became Vanaspati became Dalda, photocopying became Xerox. So there was no Xeroxing. And from there you moved to slides. And then like today morning, no, was it 2 days ago? Where's Abhilasha madam? I can't see. Abhilasha madam said, do you have a PPT that I need to put up? I said, no PPT. Haath mein paper hai. So now I could have put this into 10 slides and said, let's go on. But I thought that the connect that I have with you as I talk, it may not be as efficient as that. I may not be as elegant in expressing it because writing it nicely, cleaning it and putting it is better. But the magic of what I experience as I interact with you while talking to you is something different. But if you had told me 15 minutes most efficient, you have to do that, I'll use that technology. So that's how I said things move on and on. From the slide rule days, there came the note to calculators. And from calculators to desktops, from desktops to laptops and so on. In fact, I remember in the foundation when we were working with teachers, we found it very, very challenging to pass on concepts to them and work with them, etc. And suddenly the smartphone became a huge help. So teachers very often struggle with English. If you ask many teachers who teach very well science or EVS as they call it, or language or math, they used to say one challenge for us, sir, is English. But now you find that the smartphone is their friend and they are able to use that. Please remember once again that at every stage of technology coming into your lives, you are the master of the technology and not the slave of the technology. I am terrible at navigation. If you spin me in this room once, I will not know which side is the audience and which side is the blackboard. I am that bad in navigation. So for me, Google Chacha, Google Mama is very, very useful. So click onto Google, watch it and find my way through. That is technology, but I am master of that. I am not a slave to that. Why am I not a slave to that? Because once the machine tells me next 20 kilometers, just drive on this without looking anywhere, I switch it off and I spend time with my wife looking around and she says, hey, look there, yeah, alli nodi, eshtu chennagide scenery. If I'm a slave of technology, I'll shut myself and go from GPT or Google directions and I'll go into some useless YouTube story or something else, etc. and get immersed in it and miss the beauty of the experience of traveling to Udupi from Bangalore. So I'm the master of technology. You mentioned mobile, sir, so I think it was Mr. Manmohan Naik who mentioned mobile. So I thought I should mention that here again, in everyday life you have this. Let me go back to a very realistic situation in our own teachers' lives. The pressure of syllabus and the pressure of textbook, course complete karna hai. Textbook, every chapter complete ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದೇನು tyranny. I call it the tyranny of this syllabus and textbook. We are masters of the syllabus. We are masters of the textbooks. We are not slaves of the textbooks. We are not slaves of the syllabus. Many good teachers here, I hope, will immediately resonate with what I am trying to say. Because if I have 4 months to 6 months to complete these concepts, how I go about making sure that the children absorb those concepts, what kind of learning material I do, how I use the textbooks, what kind of lesson plans I have, how much I deal with it, I can come back to this part of syllabus actually at that part. I can devote less time to this part of the syllabus and textbook and more to that. All that is the autonomy of the teacher. Very often we circumscribe our autonomy unnecessarily. Actually, the way to test it is to test its boundaries. small story from Rajasthan. One wonderful head teacher went to government school in Rajasthan near Abu Road, which had a history of 0% pass in class 8 board exam. So teacher goes there, Ramesh Kumar goes there, and he sees that he has inherited a school where this is the situation. Community doesn't respect the school. Kuch nahi hota hai yahan, yen agodilla illi. And he says, let me get people together, and he calls the community and says, be patient, I'll set it right. Please trust me, I will give my blood, sweat, toil and tears, but I'll make your school good, let's do it. Calls the teachers and says, we must do it. Gets them all together and says, let's start. After 3 months of slogging, he realizes that the portions have been covered sincerely. They have gone through the syllabus, they have gone through the textbooks, and yet when he goes and tries to understand, he finds the children have learned nothing. So he takes a fame, and that becomes the title of my story. That particular chapter, the title is, he calls the teachers and says in Hindi, गोली मारो सिलेबस को, बच्चों को फंडामेंटल सिखाओ. Hang, Actually, so clap, because I think it's an important sentence. गोली मारो सिलेबस को, बच्चों को फंडामेंटल सिखाओ. Acha, clapping, we all are hesitant. Today morning, for example, when bouquets were being given to our chief guests, you were all clapping. When the children had finished their song, why were you all so hesitant to clap? What kind of hierarchy is that? So don't break everything in a constructive manner. I'll tell you another thing to break. Again, a diversion with your permission. You have 7 hours in a conference today, 9 to 1 and 2 to 5, which is 406 into 7, 420 minutes. Whenever you do a project, you should allocate 10% for administrative cost, correct? Why did you people allocate 1 hour and 50 minutes, including this useless speech of mine, in a 7-hour program? What percentage are you distributing to administration, formalities and aupcharikta? Think about it. Break these things. Sometimes age gives you license to say no, what is it called? Controversial things. But I really want to introduce it. At the age of 68, you will permit me to say that when we hold such conferences, we must have a 10% project management rule where you spend only 10% on formalities and the rest is used on work, including Giridhar's bhashan. Please. Madam, one more thing. I'll check the time. You can cut me in mid-sentence whenever you want. It's 10:49 already, another 5 minutes. I want to talk to you of some basics again. When we look at education, all of us, we come in with that pyramid, which is a very noble pyramid, aims of education. Therefore, what are the curricular aims, curricular goals, curricular areas? Therefore, if we have to achieve those curricular areas, what should we teach? What is worth teaching? What is worth learning? How do we transact this? That is how you get subjects. So, when you look at Class 1, first period English, second period Math, third period EVS, it is an artificial divide for convenience and clarity and ease of doing things. Whereas I have seen many schools where teachers have done 95 minutes of language and said maths I will do tomorrow, instead of doing 40 minutes language and 40 minute math, because they are artificial. Because during the language class, she is already introducing concepts that are useful and relevant for EVS, relevant for math, etc. So, all of us know that we have the aims of education, from where flow the curricular domains, curricular goals, from where flow what is worth learning and teaching, from where flow subjects to be taught, how do we teach, what kind of syllabus, what kind of textbooks, what kind of material, it all flows down in a very natural thing. When it flows down in such a natural thing, that is why I say the autonomy of a teacher is very important. Subject knowledge, somebody mentioned, is so critical, sir. The classroom processes and your ability to interact with children, so critical, sir. When you combine solid subject knowledge with very sound pedagogic principles, you can create magic in the classroom. Very often people say child-friendly school, interact with children, ask them questions, encourage questions. These are all things in a vacuum. Because unless I know my subject very well, how will I encourage this interaction? That is why very often, as you said, sound knowledge of the subject, sound pedagogy, build it into a classroom, enrich it, and your children on the road to goodness. But along with that comes guts. I want to talk specifically about guts simply because I mentioned it in some context some time ago. I think guts and courage are very important. When you talk of honesty and you talk of integrity, you can never talk of honesty and integrity without courage and guts. They have to go together. When you have to follow the path of ethics, morality, integrity, all that, at every stage we will be challenged. And at every stage we will be shaken. We are all human beings, normal human beings, although we have a role to play as a teacher. And when we get shaken, we will need courage and guts. Because at times you will have to question. At times you will have to say no. And the price for questioning and the price for saying no may sometimes be quite high because you cannot control other things around you. Yet, if we are able to manage that well, guts, courage, smartness, you must use your guts and courage in a smart way also. Like, I can ask a thing and question a thing in a very nice way. If I ask it in a lousy way, I will only upset the other person and increase the resistance. But if I do it in a smart way, I will get my thing done, I will be within my boundaries, I will have ensured integrity, I would have ensured that I am exercising guts and courage, and yet I have been able to do it without breaking any branches and things like that, and maintaining relationship. What is the side benefit of such guts and courage is that you immediately liberate yourself to innovate and experiment. Every time somebody tries to experiment and innovate, please remember 4 out of 5 times it will be failure. Maybe even more, sir. You would know, Professor Mathai, but I think maybe 9 out of 10 times innovations and experiments can fail. But unless you are an innovator and experimenter with boldness and courage, you can't be an innovator and experimenter if you don't have courage. Please take it for granted. Of course, the basis is subject knowledge and good pedagogic skills. Along with that, if you have courage and guts and you experiment, the 10th time when you succeed, you would have created something so good, it becomes what we have heard today as great practice, good practice to be spread around, something that will make you feel so fulfilled. It becomes a habit with you, and afterwards you definitely try to see, is there something I can do better? Is there something we can do better? I now come, finally I realize I have not used much of this paper, I have been doing extempore. That explains to you that generally I am an extempore speaker. Today I thought I will be a prepared speaker. Doesn't work. This is like asking Sehwag to bat like Gavaskar or Shrikant to bat like Gavaskar. Nahi hota hai. So I am the Sehwag and Shrikant type of batsman. I swing, sometimes it will click, sometimes I will get bowled. That's part of your problem, not my problem. But I will come now to again what this AI thing etc. means. Technology, AI, we are their master, we are not their slave. This is the last bastion that AI can come to, because that beautiful, unique student-teacher relationship is the last thing that they can come to. Having said that, I am not a Luddite. I am not saying down on the technology. No. Don't mistake me. I am saying I am the smart guy. In other words, I, the teacher, I am the smart guy. I will use it the way I want to use it. Why do I say that? I'll say it with 3 examples. When there is a flood here or a natural disaster here, Are my students in class 10, 11, 12, who are slightly elder and capable and much better formed and developed, are they the kind of people who come to the teachers and say, can we do something? Can we go to that community? Can we go here? And see what we can do. Maybe their college going elders are part of even bigger processes to provide succor to the community, to provide solace to the community. In other words, a deep care and sense for my community when in need. Are my students doing that? If my students are going to do that, what has AI got to do with it? What has technology got to do with it? I will use smartphone to make sure they're all safe and communicate with each other. But the very spirit of wanting to help is age old in our curriculum, in our aims of education, isn't it? That child goes. How do I care whether that child got 98 in math or 71 in math? Which child is more valuable to me in terms of aims of education and imbibing those? If the child who scored 71 is the one who organizes all the other children and says, chalo yaar, kuch karte hain. So where is aid? It won't. Suppose I have a classroom and I am doing a test for them. I've given them an assignment and said, children, this is your test. All the calculators, mobiles, keep it with you, please. Laptops, keep it with you. Textbooks, keep it with you. I'm going to give you this test and I'm going to walk away from this room. I am not coming here for the next 45 minutes. How many children do you think, when you trust them like that, will learn not to use unfair means in order to attempt an exercise? And what will be the influence of the honest and fair children on the other population? The cynics amongst us will say, kya baat kar rahe ho sir, which world are you living in? 40 out of 45. I don't care. I believe that other way around. I think there will be enough children who will set the tone. What has AI got to do with that? What has technology got to do with that? If the children are not doing any of those things that I mentioned, it means your relationship with the child has achieved its goals. I will close now by saying that everybody is a lifelong learner. I also will close by saying every child deserves equal opportunity and the teacher is in the unique position to give that unique opportunity. I'll also tell you, I told you that there's no age limit for learning. So I'm learning drawing and sketching at the age of 68. I began classes 2 months ago. I completed 20 classes. Now you may say, oh, there's so much on YouTube. Learn to draw this, and there are beautiful tutorials on YouTube. Honestly, if you follow those and try to do that, you'll do that. My teacher, I hope somebody records it, I can send it to her, but my teacher Lavanya and my teacher Sholay in the art class, they spend 90 minutes with me 4 times a week teaching me how to sketch and shade, and they teach me things which I know are in the YouTube, but they're teaching me in a manner that I find unique, that I find more joyful, that I find more interactive, that I find more educative. More important, my teachers know that Giridhar can access the YouTube, but they are not in the least bit worried because they know that is only an augmentation to the core learning that they are providing here. The confidence and happiness of Lavanya and Sholay in teaching a 68-year-old man to draw and shade, knowing such things are available on YouTube, tells you that we are masters of technology or not slaves of technology. Thank you very much. She says, brickbats outside. So I will come there. Thank you very much once again, all of you. And thanks for tolerating me. Ma'am says, if any of you want to ask questions, please ask. Okay. How many of you have seen the movie Sholay? Remember what Hangal Chacha says there? Itna sannata kyo hai bhai? So I am asking you, itna sannata kyo hai? But there goes a hand up. Please, up. Start, sir.
You made a point regarding examination will be conducted in the classroom without a supervisor visit possible. I think we need to develop in this line, in the elevating humanity. We need to educate our children. Without the supervisor, they are able to write the examination, where values are more important there. So we need to develop little bit more on that in the future conference maybe. Thank you.
It sounds utopian, isn't it? But let me tell you that when I studied in Pilani, 1973 to 78, we used to have open book tests. Why could we have open book tests? Is because the examination was designed so beautifully. The teacher was making sure that unless I knew the concept, had understood it, I will not be able to apply anything I see from the book if I wanted to attempt it. So they were very confident that if you have to attempt my question, even if you have the book in front of you, you can do so only if you have understood the concept. I have not touched upon the aspect of assessment, but as we go from class 1 to 8 and 9, before we get to the tyranny of board level exams, etc., we have plenty of opportunities as teachers to create very, very interesting assignments and questions for children. And there you can try this, sir.
So you were talking, good morning. You were talking about the AI guts and experimentation and all that. I was thinking about the general concept of education that we have now here. Our education seems to be a job-oriented education. And therefore, when you study to become an engineer, 5 years of studying technology and all that. But there is advancement in technology. So 5 years you study to become an engineer, but technology has advanced. By the time the engineer becomes an engineer, he is a half-baked engineer because technology has advanced. So your comments on this, please. Thank you.
That's a brutal fact. That's a brutal fact. But I have two things to say on that. One is that I have interacted with a few technical people of my vintage, which means we studied 45 years ago or 50 years ago. And very often we talk of concepts suddenly after 30 years, and I find 3 of them absolutely uninteresting. I don't remember anything, yaar. And 3 of them saying, hey, I remember. Just 10 days ago, we were talking of turbulent flow and laminar flow. It's a technical term where when a fluid goes at a certain speed, beyond a certain threshold speed, it becomes a turbulent flow, and below that it is laminar flow. We were discussing these terms. 3 of my friends from that same vintage, batchmates, said, go to hell, yaar, I don't remember anything. 3 of them started going and Googling and coming back and saying, hey, Reynolds number, this phenomena, that. So, sir, it all depends on each individual, how they keep abreast, how much they are interested, etc. But I don't want to leave it like that. People sometimes say, oh, if you study science and engineering, then the attention paid to the humanity or humanitarian stuff is reduced. If you do this, nothing of the kind, sir. I have enough examples of people who have gone through a science and engineering program with deep commitment to society, as all of us know, and there are plenty of people from humanities who may not engage with that. So I think it's a question of how do you somehow in your curriculum from childhood make sure that there is a core element of a child becoming a responsible, more ethical, good, caring, empathetic individual. You mentioned EQ and RQ and all. EQ, RQ are not mutually exclusive with science and technology or congruent with humanities. I think both can be living cohabit happily. Done? Okay. Thank you once again.
We have covered a variety of questions. Thank you, sir, for your valuable words, which will undoubtedly inspire us to elevate humanity. And thank you, everyone, for your active participation. May I request Reverend Father Francis Arun D'Souza, Sports Secretary of AICS and Principal of St. Dominic School, to present a memento to our guest as a token of gratitude. Thank you, Reverend Father, for your kind gesture. We have concluded this session. Now, let's take a short break for refreshment. I request everyone to reassemble for the next session at 11:20 a.m. I wish everyone a fruitful day. Thank you. Dear delegates, washrooms are accessible in this venue.